Calling to order the June 9th, 2022 Danby Select Board meeting. Would you please rise and join me in the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Abbott. Here. Fuller.
Present.
Haynes.
Here.
Powers.
Here.
Bender. Here. Okay, Beth will read our procedure for remote access attendance.
Okay. This is as approved by the board at their last meeting on May 12, 2022. Remote access to select board meetings, while not required by law, is offered in order to encourage access and participation for as many of our town's citizens as possible. It is understood that a select board meeting is a meeting open to the public, but not a public meeting per se. Business is conducted and votes are cast by board members. Therefore, public attendees, in person or remote, who wish to comment on an agenda action item when it is addressed in the course of the meeting should indicate such intention during the public comment period at the beginning of the meeting. To maintain order as well as the efficiency of the meeting, the rules for remote attendee participation are: remote attendees will be muted by online host, that's me, upon joining the meeting, remaining so unless recognized to speak. Intention or desire to speak in order to comment or ask questions will be indicated by use of the hand-raising function of the platform. For people on computers, that's located in the toolbar at the bottom under Reactions. And for people dialing in by phone, it's a *9. People will be recognized in the order in which the hand-raising function is activated. Online host will alert the chair to presence of remote questions and comments. Remote participants, when recognized, will unmute their device after being cued by the online host to do so and identify themselves with clearly spoken first and last name, please. Comment or question will be limited to 2 to 3 minutes, after which participant will be muted. General ground rules concerning decorum remains the same as that which is expected of citizens, guests, and board members attending in person. Namely, the speaker will not be interrupted and will not interrupt other speakers. The speaker will treat the proceedings and other speakers with dignity and respect, addressing the issue and not personalities. Procedures for use of the online platform and the above standards will be reviewed at the beginning of each meeting. And I just wanted to say that for members of the public in the room who might speak, and for members who are online joining us, please speak up and speak distinctly and succinctly so that we can understand you. I'm new at this, so please bear with me, but having remote access and participation, while it might be a bit tedious and cumbersome at first, it's something that we're doing because we're honoring the wishes of the majority of voters who want to have this access. So please help us make it work. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Can you tell us who's attending remotely, please?
Oh, yes. Let me just admit 2 more people. Okay. And attending remotely, we have Gary Durr, Chris Hardaway and Terry Parker, Jody Wallenius, Andrea Storr. I don't know who EJARN is, but EJARN, okay. Also Annette Smith, and I think that's it. Although I thought I just admitted somebody else, but I don't see them listed here, so.
Okay, thank you.
Oh wait, I know Jen was getting on, and I have something that says Mammy's iPad, so I don't know who that is. Hi, Mammy. Okay.
Okay.
Next, we will set the agenda, and I have an addition just above old business, which will be the Emergency Mutual Aid Agreement.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I'll make the motion that we adopt it as amended.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We have adopted the agenda. We'll move on to public comment, and I will begin with a public service announcement from the Rutland County Solid Waste District, who will be here collecting household hazardous waste for the Danby Mount Tabor residents at our transfer station on Saturday, June 25th, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock in the morning. You may bring aerosol cans, paint, batteries, bulbs, pesticides, automobile fluids, and other chemicals that you can't use. Used oil to spee is 30 cents per gallon, and propane tanks, 1 pound, $1.50, 20 pounds, $3. So mark your calendars on that. And next we have Hope Blucher, who has asked to be on the agenda.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I have with me Lauren Dever, who's been working with me. We're here to request that the board adopt the Declaration of Inclusion. I had left a packet for you. I included the declaration, but I would like to read it just so everybody knows what I'm talking about. So the first paragraph reads, "The town of Danby condemns racism and welcomes all persons regardless of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, gender identity or expression, age or disability, and wants everyone to feel safe and welcome in our community." The second paragraph reads, "As a town, we formally condemn all discrimination in all of its forms, commit to fair and equal treatment of everyone in our community, and will strive to ensure all of our actions, policies, and operating procedures reflects this commitment." And the last paragraph is, "The town of Danby has and will continue to be a place where individuals can live freely and express their opinion." So that is what I'm asking you to adopt. I'd just like to give a brief background. I laid out some of it in my cover letter to you. But this declaration is a statewide project, and it was started by 2 businessmen in Rutland. And the object is to have each of the 246 towns and cities of Vermont adopt the declaration. And to date, 50 towns have done so, including some of our neighbors, Mount Tabor, Wallingford, Timoth, and Paulet, just to name a few. Governor Philip Scott has also issued a proclamation of inclusion in May of 2021. Being welcoming and inclusive is important for Vermont's economic development. We are one of the least diverse states in the country and the 3rd oldest population. We're not attracting enough workers, and enough younger people are not staying to raise their families. So by adopting the declaration, our town will be joining forces with the cities and towns across Vermont that are striving to create and maintain a community that is diverse, equitable, and inclusive, so everyone feels safe and welcome. A few weeks ago, I went to a workshop on the Declaration of Inclusion, and Al Wakefield was there. He's one of the founders, and he ended the workshop with an explanation of the vision of the project. And he said, quote, "Our vision is that Vermont will become known as the most welcoming and safe place for all people in the country." When I first mentioned this to Brad that I wanted to be on the agenda, he said, "Well, we are inclusive and we are welcoming." And I said, "Yes, we are, but we can always do better." And I've been thinking about that. And I think that since we would be working with towns and cities across Vermont, we could probably get some more ideas of how we could do better. We could maybe do something with Mount Tabor, who has also become part of the project. But of course, we won't be able to do that unless you adopt the Declaration of Inclusion, and we can become part of the project. So I urge you to adopt this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the part of the board?
Should we put that on the agenda for discussion next month on that, or how do you want to?
We can do that. I mean, we really can't discuss it unless somebody makes a motion. But if we want to direct it to the agenda for next month, we can do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Put it on the agenda for next month.
yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
I will be here if you have any questions.
Okay.
Thanks.
And I believe it's July 9th, our next, or am I confusing it with today being?
You're confusing it. I think it should be like the 14th, 13th,
It is the 14th.
14th.
Okay, so we'll put this on the agenda for July 14th meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Is there any other public comment at this time? Okay. Okay, we'll move on then with a motion to adopt the minutes of the select board meeting of May 12th, 2022. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion, which would include corrections, deletions, additions to the minutes? Not hearing any, I will ask all those who are in favor of adopting the minutes of May 12th to say aye.
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 And that sounds unanimous to me. Okay. Now we come to the great excitement of the evening, which is opening bids and approved sale of the Coyote tractor. We have received 3 sealed bids.
Before you open them, I'd like to abstain from, because one of those is
Okay,
from my dad, so
okay.
I'm abstaining from any discussion.
Will the minutes please note that? So I have here a bid dated the 9th of June to the select board. I, Donald McColgan, bid the amount of $5,656 US for the Coyote tractor. And I have a bid from, bless you,
Thank you.
Ken Abbott for $4,680.
I'll note that that's senior.
Yes. And I have a bid from Maureen Staples for $1,500. So it sounds like the high bidder is Donald McColgan, and I will entertain a motion to sell.
I'll make the motion, we sell it.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor of selling the Coyote tractor for $5,656 to Donald McColgan, please say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations. Are you driving it home?
And a 5-gallon of hydraulic fluid.
Oh, I thought you were gonna ask for the diesel fuel. That would have doubled the price.
And that's true, you know? Oh,
Okay, thank you, Donald. Next, we have the Rutland Regional Report, but I do not see Shelley Taylor here, so we will skip over that. And then we move on to our Treasurer's Report. Jen, are you there?
Hey Brad,
Hello, Jen.
how are you?
I am well, and we can hear you quite nicely.
Okay. So I left you guys a packet, and did anybody have any questions on the budget status report?
Doesn't sound like it.
Okay. If you guys could just like review it, let me know if you have any questions. We're getting towards the end of the year, so I want to make sure everything is really cleaned up. If you have any details that you need, let me know.
Okay. Would you like to tell us about Dump Day?
So dump day was really slow this year. We collected $872. We had several comments about people not knowing that it was dump day, so I'm not sure if people just didn't see it or if it was such a nice day that they didn't participate.
We did advertise it the same way we have in the past, so I'm not sure why they weren't aware of it.
Okay.
I did have a question from one of the employees about the Mission Square retirement plan, and they're wondering if you will be giving them documents to sign that will transfer their funds from the former program to the new program.
So right now, we're still waiting for the plan to be set up. I checked with Angie this week, at the beginning of the week, and she said we should be all set up on Monday. So once we have the plan set up, I'm assuming they're gonna reach out to us and have the employees start filling out work.
Okay. Did you have anything else for us?
Nope, that's it.
Any questions for Jen before she mutes off? Okay, thank you, Jennifer.
Yep, have a good night.
You too. Okay, next we'll move on to the report of the delinquent tax collector, and he has given all the board members copies of what's outstanding. And Doug, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I'm here at the select board's request just to give a brief overview of the town's delinquent tax status. I guess the best place to start would be December of '21. That's when we pretty much start off the new delinquent tax season, is what we call it. And this number is from all years combined. It's from 2010 to 2021, and we started out at $231,117. And again, that's all years combined. From December to present, $167,771.99 has come in. And that leaves a balance out there still due of $63,345.18. And again, that's for all years. This amount equals 0.175% of the $36 million tax roll that it represents. $3 million per year conservatively over the 12 years. Okay, so now let's just take a look at the 2021 tax year alone. 2021 municipal budget was $1,056,179. Of this amount, $859,706 came in as a timely payment. Those were the timely payments. These payments are reflected in the 016, 01, 01, 00, and in the 026, 01, 01, 00 budget lines, revenue lines in the budget. $164,090.36 came in after the close of the tax year. So what this means is that this revenue would hit the delinquent tax revenue tax line because it came in after the year closed out. Even though it was 2021's payments, and it might have only came in a week or two late, it still hits the delinquent line. And that line is 016, 01, 0200. The actual amount still delinquent for 2021, and again, this is 2021 alone, there's $32,382.70 still delinquent for 2021. And this is shown on page 4 of the delinquent tax report. I'll give you all a copy of that report. It'll show that that's the actual amount still due for 21. Okay, now that amount, the $32,382.70, it equals 0.925% of the $3.5 million tax roll that was mailed out in September. If you add the timely payments of $859,706 with $164,930 that was received after the tax year closed, and then you add in the $32,382.70 that's still delinquent, this amount will tie out with the budget amount of the 2021's municipal budget. In your packets, I've included a delinquent tax amount with totals by date and by years as evidence showing where we started in 2016 and where we are today. I've also included a list of potential upcoming property tax parcels. If you guys look this information over and you have any further questions, you can feel free to call me anytime, send me an email. And when I say anytime, I mean anytime. Doesn't matter if it's Sunday. So if this leaves any questions for anybody, if you have questions, feel free to ask. If you have questions a day or two, I get a chance to look it over and sleep on it. Like I say, call me.
Now, is everybody that's delinquent you've been able to contact, and is everybody at least trying to work, or is there some that are?
There's certain properties that every year they'll pay it just about this time of year for whatever reason. You'll see that you'll notice there's a lot of just single year ones on there, and the majority of those do that. They'll pay for some reason throughout the summer. The majority, I gave you the list of who I have making payments.
Right.
I gave you a list of also the ones that are making random payments, and those are they're potentially on the next run, tax sale run, the ones that are just making the random payments to us. But for the most part, everybody that, if you're not seeing them on that list, then they're making pretty steady payments.
What generates the tax sale run, Doug?
If they have a set up a payment plan, they're making good progress on the delinquent parcels. And, you know, there'll be some that they'll make payments, and all of a sudden they dry it up and then they stop making payments. As long as they're making payments, then I won't put them to a tax sale if they're making ground.
Okay.
Otherwise, if they haven't set up a payment plan, and I can't contact them, they won't get in touch with me, I can't get a hold of them, then I turn it over to the attorney and he sends them the demand letter.
Okay.
Most times when the demand letter is sent out, 1 out of every 4 will pay on that demand letter. I send out my own rough draft of my own demand letter that is similar to his, and I'll get about 1 in 5 that will pay on mine, and I'm just warning them that the next step, they're gonna get a demand letter from the attorney. Like I say, when he sends it, about 1 in 4 will pay, and the other 3 will end up going to a tax sale.
So they have plenty of opportunities to set up something.
They have got plenty, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought so, I was just wanting to clarify.
I do my best to work with people as much as I can, and I give them as much as I possibly can before it goes to that point. But
Oh, I understand that.
yeah. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions now or later, just feel free to get hold of me.
Now, if you go back like 10 years on this, and I didn't look to see who was back 10 years, but at a certain point, are we making any headway with those that are, you know, because if you're owing taxes from 2010, 11, 12, 13, and 14, are they actually making any headway on those? Or,
Let me take a look at some of the ones that are, I know there's a couple that are 2010. Well, I can look at the one that's got a 2013 on it, it's on page 1. It's got 2013 through 21, that's an unlanded mobile home. And there's been nobody in that thing since, so until I can actually find a potential bidder, I really hate to put that up, so I'm gonna come right down and tell it down and don't bid on this thing.
That's just the mobile home.
That's all it is.
So you end up-
Unlanded-
Yep.
And there's a few, unlanded mobile homes are always a problem. You know, they really are. It's like, a couple of years isn't even enough money really stacked up to go after them at that point.
so as long as the landowner pays the taxes, the mobile home is free and clear without paying taxes because it has no value to anybody.
It has its own tax bill, it has its own parcel ID number, but it's in the Lister cards as an unlanded mobile home. So it's kind of like a personal property, really.
So
So
basically, if
Vermont statute can't attach it to the land with,
Can't do it because they're just renting the parcels of land from the landlord. Landlord will have 4 or 5 different parcels with mobile homes on it, and he'll rent out the
but I would assume the landowner is still receiving rent if they're allowing the trailer to stay there.
Oh, yeah.
So we should have the ability to attach that under statute.
I wish you could.
that-
I really do.
Because it's income being generated
Yeah.
by, have you ever looked into that to see if there is any?
I haven't. I've talked, briefly with a couple of different, with Kevin O'Toole for one. And, like I say, it's like a personal property. You can't attach it to that without the landowner actually owning the trailer.
Right. I mean, I know we've dealt with this with the town for years as far as these things. And there's gotta be a way that we kinda
Yeah.
get rid of that as an issue.
It'd be nice, if when people were renting out lots like that, if there was a different percentage, that their tax rate had a different, that would cover, whatever was on it.
Right.
And we didn't have to have all these unlanded mobile homes up there, but there's nothing you can do in that case either, because I've even talked about that with a couple of people. It's like down here at the camp store, them campers that are sitting down there, and you get a lot of those, and those are just unlanded campers, personal properties, actually. And those tax bills are $20, $30 a year. And I just had a guy finally pay like 10 years of $20 a year off, which came to like $266 with interest and everything. But you can't even tax them unless they hit $500. It's just, you can't have an attorney come up and do title searches and all that for anything under 500.
Right.
They won't even touch them. So all you can do with something like that is keep letting them stack and hope they pay, which the guy finally did. So it's kind of a shocker when I popped the envelope. I'm like, I was excited about it. It was $266 tax pay. I wiped out 10 years off that list and it dropped me another page on the reports. It's like, I'm excited about this, even though it's only $200.
Do we have many of those mobile homes that are,
Most of them pay.
yeah, but on this, as far as out of this $88,000 worth of,
I think they're all off now. I think they're all paid. There might be one on here.
okay, no, and it's not that you gotta find the
No.
one. I just didn't know if it was 50% of our,
No,
because if it was, we really have to, as a town, look into a way to.
no, it's not.
Looks like possibly.
Yeah, we got one on here. He's only 1 year behind, $44. I mean, when I deal with that, that's from back 2 years ago. And my penalty money is $2.61. I've been sending notices for 2 years. How much money did I make on that property?
Yeah, no, it's,
Coming out of my pocket on that one. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where we are with unlanded mobile homes. They're always a problem.
Now, a question on that, does that change the rate of the landowner's tax with it sitting there?
What it does is it gives them another health site on their lot.
Okay.
So it does. Every lot they have is another health site. So it definitely is up in their rate.
but a single lot would be a single house site anyways.
But when you've got a property that's if you're the renter and your house site's on the same property, and you got one lot you're renting, then you got two house sites.
Right, but if it's single lot though, it's still a single, because every piece of land has one house site designated.
Every one has one, right?
Yes, yeah.
But now you've got two, so I mean, it ups your value by like, what, 55,000 for every house site, I think it is, something like that. By the time you add in your sewer and your water and everything's driveway power, you're talking about 55,000 on your land value.
Okay, thank you very much, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
If they say any questions, feel free to get a hold of me. Because I know once you think this over and sleep on it, you're gonna be going, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay, we have the road commissioner's report coming up next, and that will also include the application for grants and aid. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
Well, I'll do my report while everyone wants to look at this. Participate in the Sicily Roads Grant and Aids Program. Is this Rutland Regional or is this state? State. I didn't see it, but we're at our end of our grading season, so at least for the time being, I guess our only issue's been the chloride was, I don't know, it back ordered, if you want to say it. We ordered it 3 weeks ago, thinking that as things dried out that we were going to receive it, because last spring we were able to get on it right when the things started to dry out, and they didn't tell us until I think yesterday or the day before I finally called to ask where our chloride was, and they said that they weren't able to get it to us at that time. So hopefully we see that. So we may end up doing another round of touch-up because of not being able to get the chloride to harden the roads in. We've done a couple culverts out on Dorset Mountain Road. We've gotten the one almost out at the town line just before Scallop Drive that wasn't working this year. And we're pretty much going to take a break on the brush cutting for a while since the trees are so heavy. But if there is any that anybody sees that it's just complete out in the road, you guys can get a hold of us, or if somebody does. And we're trying to get on some of the ditching right now, but
You've got 2 culverts coming up next week.
and we do have the 2 culverts that, if you didn't see them posted, we're closing the road over on Lily Hill Road to do those. And that's where we're at.
Okay, so I believe Janice forwarded the grants and aid proposal to everybody.
Yeah, I think I got it this afternoon, but I didn't open it before I came down.
Okay.
Last week, okay.
But, I mean,
That's the one from Stephanie.
This is from Russ Guin at vermont.gov. It's the formal announcement with initial offers, and they need this by June 24th if we wish to participate. The Agency of Transportation invites municipalities to participate in the Municipal Roads Grants and Aid Program, which provides funding for municipalities to implement best management practices in accordance with the Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation Municipal Roads General Permit. Grants and Aids Award will be made available through AOT with a total of approximately $5.8 million in this grant cycle. Municipalities will submit reimbursement requests directly to AOT for work completed, and AOT will reimburse up to 80% of the municipality's documented construction expenses, including in-kind support for hydraulically connected roads.
Let's see it for a minute, because it makes no sense which one this is. Let's just move on and we'll discuss this in later on down.
Okay. In the meantime, while this is being reviewed, I will entertain a motion to approve the fleet permit of Consolidated Communications.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of approving Consolidated Communications fleet permit, say aye.
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 Okay.
Okay. So that. And next we have the hazard mitigation plan that you folks asked to put on this month's agenda for review. I know everybody's had a chance to look at it since like November or something, and it was one of those things that winter came and went and we didn't do much on it.
Do you have the big map with you?
I think the big map might be right over there, or it might be here. We just settled for the little map.
Well, I think I didn't know if everyone, because we worked off the big map, and that was what got us concerned about the designations of flood areas.
Well, those black rectangles are the areas of concern. And we had suggested whittling that down.
See, this was the working draft of 1021 that you and I reviewed, and I thought she had done a second one after because we had the meeting just before Christmas.
Right. And I believe we told her the corrections that we picked up and the modifications that we thought should be made. Now we have a problem with the team that was doing this, because Shelley seems to not be participating in meetings. So
See, we're in with Mount Tabor on this.
and we're in with Mount Tabor. And as you know, Tom Johnston, who was working very hard on this, is having health issues.
Right.
So Stephanie, I spoke with today, and she said we might want to consider reassembling the team.
Well, I think when we should reassemble it, we should have more participants from the board. The only problem with that is if we have 3 members,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to warn it as a meeting as well.
Right. No, we can
Which
only
the
have
only other
2.
problem, I mean, I don't see that as a problem, is it? I mean, because the town of Mount Tabor has 2 members involved in.
They do on the team?
I thought there was,
I thought they just had Phil.
who else was at the meeting?
Yeah, I thought they were down to just Phil. Maybe somebody else was doing it and dropped out or something.
Huh.
Well, I guess,
But I'm not
so
positive.
what do you, I mean, other than board members?
Well, you know, my opinion on it is that we've addressed certain things, and I think they should just incorporate that and move on with part 2. I don't see the necessity of rehashing it.
I don't think we ever got through part 1. I mean, I was at the last meeting, and I don't feel comfortable saying that we addressed it, because I guess when I left the meeting, I wasn't happy with where we were at with it. So that's why I was hoping that at the time we could do it as more of a team with the.
These were the areas that, you know, we wanted to consolidate on the map or eliminate. Like that one in front of Smoky House office.
I guess, has everybody else even looked at the map to, or seen the big map where you feel comfortable saying that,
No, I can't say I'd feel comfortable.
No, I don't feel comfortable making a decision.
That's something we can move to next month again and have the big.
well, I think, yeah, if we address it in the meeting,
And
then we
plan on
can
having-
finalize it at the meeting.
Plan on having the big map out.
The
so
big
we
map
can
and
go
say
over
these
it.
are our final, this is what we want.
Would you
finally.
just see what that map is right behind the flag there, Mike? Is that it? Yeah, that is it.
So, these are the areas, yes, we got them here. And was this the one you and I worked out
Yes.
from?
So we had issues on Danby Mountain Road, Edmonds Road, Bromley Road, Easy Street, Baker Brook, Old Otis, Danby Paulet Road going down Paris Hill, John Quarry Road, Jimtown, Lily Hill, and Kelly Hill.
Okay, and we Xed off,
You're gonna say up on Baker Brook, and there's no real flooding happens up.
yeah, and that was our concern, like even where we have areas here, let's find some that are real non-flooded.
Well, this one up here past Jerome's, after the town fixed the ditches, I don't think has bothered in years.
Well, see, and that's the thing that I was trying to get at in the meetings is if we don't do our maintenance of our culverts and something floods,
Right.
that doesn't mean it's a flood hazard. It means
Right.
we did poor maintenance on our roads. And I think 80% of these are all controlled easy areas that aren't flood hazard areas. They're areas that if you let them go for 10 years, you're gonna have a flood no matter what goes on. So I didn't want to label any of these on the map that, like you said, with a culvert fix,
Right, because after
is now not a flood hazard.
after that got built up and there was 2 culverts put in, it's washed very minimal on
See, the thing
the
is,
west side of the road.
to me, a flood hazard is like down on the creek. You can't
Right.
control when the river comes up.
Right.
Your cornfield is a flood hazard. If you want me to put it
No, I don't want you to put that on me. That's already been mapped, thank you.
So those are the real vulnerable areas. These other areas, we can have washouts, but they're really not flooding. And,
Right.
Right, a washout is not a flood problem.
So I think what we should do is everybody's got to commit to looking at these before the next meeting, and then we decide, finalize which ones are actual flood areas and which ones are just culverts that didn't get taken care of and cleaned areas, so that we have a true, because the problem is if we put these in as flood areas and they're actually not, they're going to be under like the emergency management. And if Kenny was going to an area and thinking, well, that's got potential flooding and there ain't a chance in hell it's a flood area, it kind of gives the wrong idea to people. And people's property values that would affect, I think it would affect.
Well, would it require them to then get flood insurance or renewal?
See, and that's the thing is, once you put things on a map, and Brad and I have experienced this personally, getting it taken off is almost impossible, and any 5 idiots can put things on.
Well, and here again, they're showing it on a flat map instead of a USGS topographical map.
So, and that's the thing that I in the meetings that got a little contentious is I don't like putting things, especially against people's land, that then you later on come back and say, you know, guys, we don't have any flooding there. We did have a culvert plug one time that nobody, and now my land is considered on an emergency management map as flood potential.
And we're getting a beaver issue up there on the overflow
Yeah, no,
of Danby
so if the
Pond,
beavers
so
move in,
The beavers are moving in and they're blocking our new box culvert up there.
Well, then you got them up on the end of Baker Brook Road.
Yeah.
They're the cousins.
Few sticks of dynamite.
all right, so where do we want to go with this? I mean, I don't think we need to stare at the map all at the same time, but I think everyone should take a look at the map and then we can,
Take some notes and compare them and make a few
yeah,
decisions.
and try to do it as in order instead of us kind of just daydreaming
To
looking at it.
either, shrink them down or eliminate them.
And are we just looking at the flooding and washouts, or are we looking
Yeah,
at
these boxes.
All right, well, I didn't know if we were looking at like the areas of snow drifting, because some of that's wrong too.
Right. And that's the thing is, under the local hazard things, there is the erosion, the drifting, and the flash flooding areas. So I think, yeah, all four of those criteria we want to, so, I don't know, the snow drifting ones at Calvin Hill, some of those we could, but they don't even, we haven't had that in
You're gonna
years.
have some up by Doug, but up past Marge's, there's nothing through there that drifts.
Right. No, and that's the thing is, we can put them on and do it.
And most up past the farm doesn't drift. To where half of Otis Road, they've got all of Otis Road is marked, and most of that doesn't drift.
Right, because it's all grown in now.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't get it through those trees.
pretty much.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna move that to July 14th. In the meantime, we'll keep it located there on top of
Everybody
the
has
filing
to take at
cabinets.
least a
Everybody
little bit of
needs to
time
do their
so
homework.
we can do our.
Now, how are we on this?
This isn't this is
grants.
basically our Better Back Roads one, and I mean, there's no reason we can't, I guess, ask for it.
Okay.
This is the one where if we don't get it done, we lose it, like,
Right.
which, you've heard my opinion on that it's forced labor. But
So I'll entertain a motion to sign the 2023 Municipal Roads Grants in Aid Program application.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded. Any more discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried, and I will sign this. Okay, next, I think we have the Rutland County Sheriff's contract.
now, on that, did we increase the hours? Should we get David in for a discussion since our 2023 fiscal year budget was approved and it has more money in there? And before we renew this, should we? And when's that expire? For July 1st, is it? Or
July 1st, yeah.
well, I guess we could sign that one.
We can sign it, and there's something in here that says about changing.
Can he commit to more time if we want it? Because last year.
Well, that's the thing that I'd like to know. And I mean, I don't think we have a lot of other options, do we?
Probably not.
But
It'd be nice to know if he could give us.
yeah, I mean, we basically doubled our budget for law
Right.
enforcement. And we need to make them aware of it, that it becomes effective here in another 3 weeks. And
So the total number of patrol hours may not exceed 520 hours during the life of the agreement without prior written authorization of the
Well,
town.
why don't we sign this one and then just, I mean, because we don't want to lapse on the
No.
thing, and then ask them to come into, do you guys, I mean, want to throw it on our July because we can like have it a 5-hour meeting if we keep adding stuff, but.
Dave usually. But, I mean, he was only a few minutes last year.
Yeah, but I'd like to have him come in and, so that he tells us face to face, I can offer you the coverage, or we're gonna say, yeah, and we're not gonna be able to do it anyways, and, but I really like to have the one on, you know, the face to face with him when,
Okay.
before we. And I guess, it only needs one signature, right?
Right.
Now, how about I make the motion that you contact him tomorrow and ask him, or within the next week or so, and ask him if he would rather just carry the contract over until, and we do a new one with him, or if he wants us to sign that and we could authorize you to sign it if it need be to carry us into the next month, but we would like to do a new contract with more hours for.
It sounds like we can give written authorization to increase the hours.
Yeah, but
All right.
last year, he said, when we asked him, he didn't know
Oh, he
if
didn't
had
have the
anybody
manpower
to give us
do
the
it.
coverage.
Okay,
Right, because last year we talked about having 2 patrol cars
Right.
at the same time.
Right, and I have forewarned him, I mean, I have seen him that we did double our, but I hadn't heard any, and I haven't had any conversations with him. But I guess I think as a board, we would like to hear from him if he's got the time to
Yes.
attend for a few
Okay.
minutes.
so I'll question him if he wants it signed or he wants to come talk about it.
Yeah, but if
We'd
he
like
needs
him
it
to
signed, I'll make the motion that.
Yeah, but why don't we make the motion to sign it?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
And is there a
Sign it
second?
as is.
As is, and have a conversation about expanding hours.
Yep.
I'll second it.
Because my concern is back to, Mike said, if he's gonna tell us no, if we shouldn't actually, I don't know if state police is still doing any contracts or if anybody, you know, I'm just saying that we made the commitment to expand our
Yeah.
law enforcement, and I'd like to make sure that we didn't make the commitment and then not actually be able to find the coverage.
Yeah, I would like to know where else we can go for coverage.
Yeah, no, I'm saying there's not a lot of choices out
Because the
there.
speeding has not diminished.
Well, let's bring them in and make it our point if we can.
Okay, so we have a motion that has been made and seconded.
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries unanimously. So I'll keep that up there. Okay, so as you all know, back in April, we had a wind event that severely damaged the garage roof. We filed an insurance claim on that. The inspector came and felt there was over $16,000 worth of damage to the roof, and he met with Paul Short, and they worked up an estimate as to what needed to be done and replaced and so forth. Paul did the work last month, and when he was doing it, they noticed that the nails on the metal on the front part of the roof, when they got up in the attic to put in the new collar ties, they saw all these holes with daylight coming through. So a number of the nails had popped, even though they had reset them last summer and they had siliconed them. So what happened was, according to the insurance inspector, there was an entrance to the attic in the third bay. There was a a piece of steel that had never been put in there so that you could just easily put a ladder up and go up in the attic. Well, the wind apparently came from the front of the building and went up in there. So it was like a balloon popping. That's why the roof popped off in the back. But also, the front part of the roof was subject to pressure. So I did, when they brought this to my attention, I went up and I took pictures, and I got back on the phone with the insurance adjuster, and he said, well, that's what I'm telling you. There was a pressure event, and I'm not surprised that that happened. However, the nailers that go across the rafters have a lot of dry rot because, you know, this hot tin has been on them for the last 50 years. So they will not, they'll give us $10,000 to replace the metal, but they will not cover the new wood. So we went from a claim of $16,000. They're now willing to give us $26,000 to cover the work. And I met with Paul again, and he will replace all the metal on the front of the roof, the whole front, not just like on the back where they only did a 40-foot section of the 60-foot roof. And he will also replace the other 20 feet on the back, so all of Bay 3 will be completely replaced. And he will also put collar ties in Bay 3, the open bay. And he's given us a proposal of $14,875 to do that, 10 of which will be covered by the insurance claim.
So all of the front, meaning from one end to the other, did he give us square footage on that, or is it just?
The whole 60 feet. It's
So the building's 60 feet long?
By 20.
And I guess going in a tangent is, so the back, we didn't do the whole 60 feet?
No, we did 40 feet.
So that's why it
was
leaked?
Damaged.
Because it was leaking the next storm after?
Well, it was leaking probably from what had lifted up.
No, it was leaking on the new roof.
Oh,
but it had to been where
I know, but I think it was coming in under the ridge cap where that front roof was flapping. And it did not leak this last rainstorm. I was down here the other morning and there was nothing. So I think it depends on the wind, and that's why we need to get you know, new nailing strips on there and screws.
So he's gonna do the same thing like we did on the backside, scab onto the trusses, so
Yes.
that there's good metal, or good wood there to
Good
hook
wood to screw into, and he's also going to replace the 2 sections on the back, so we'll have a whole new roof.
Can I see his thing for a minute?
And as you know, the one section in there just has a piece of fiberglass on it. It's not even metal. And we have also put metal over that entrance to the attic. So if anybody ever needed to get up there, which I don't know why they would, but they'd have to unscrew that to get in. So no wind can get in the attic anymore.
Anyone else want to see his estimate?
And we have sufficient funds in the building reserve fund to
I'll make a motion, we do it. It's gotta be done.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion is made and seconded. Any other discussion?
Is it guaranteed not to leak anymore?
Well, you know, he came back like 5 times addressing the leaks the last time, so.
Yeah, but I guess my point is a leaking roof is still a leaking roof. If
Well,
we
we had it
didn't
to
fix
the-
it right when we did it the last time, obviously we didn't go for the right thing. because we did deal with a leaking roof all winter. And it's not the end of the world, but it is a leaking roof that,
It's just hard to take an old roof and just put nails.
well, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't here when we did the last event. But all I'm saying is hopefully this time we've covered, I can't think of anything else that we're not covering.
I've been up on that roof more than I've been on my own roof, taking pictures and whatnot and chasing the leaks, and
Yeah, because-
sometimes it leaks in one place and the next rain event, it doesn't leak in that place.
Yeah, because my only concern is a leaking roof is putting enough moisture into the lower side where we're gonna end up eventually with mold in there, and we're gonna end up replacing the inside
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So, we really gotta
Well,
solve
I
the
mean, we're
leaking
gonna have a
roof.
whole new roof, so I don't, okay, so there's been a motion made and seconded. Any more discussion on that? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion is carried. And then we have a motion to increase the rate of pay for the Board of Listers Chair to $17 an hour from 15.
So the other two are making 15, and who actually is the chair?
Maureen. So it used to always be that the chair was paid more than the other members. And I don't know why that changed, but they were all making the same amount of pay without having the same amount of responsibility. And Maureen's been in the job now quite a number of years.
I'll make the motion that we raise the chair to $17 an hour, and we take it off the other two.
Put them down to 14. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
You're gonna be the one to tell you.
Tell my mom.
Dinner table's gonna be a little
Okay.
rough.
And I'd like to thank Maureen for being so responsible and guiding the Nimerick people through this reappraisal. Okay, next we received an emergency aid mutual agreement renewal. This apparently goes a year at a time. And this basically allows us to, yeah, you can come out of timeout now. This allows us to borrow equipment and so forth from other towns in the event of an emergency. So the people that were on here last year, they like the road commissioner to be one of the people, and an alternate. So we had Shelley Taylor as chairman of the planning commission, but as I said earlier, Shelley seems to be occupied with her other obligations. So I would like to see you continue, Tom. if
Yeah,
you
I'll be
would.
on it, and I'm sure all three of these are gonna raise their hands immediately when we ask
Which
for.
one of you I have to stop from raising his hand?
Is there meetings involved with this, or is it just
Uh,
being on there?
It would only be in the event of
Yeah,
an
and
emergency.
basically,
I'll go on there if it's for that, I just don't
Okay.
have time.
Put all three of us down.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can put us all
can you
on
have
there.
that many alternates?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Because if they can't get a hold, if
Yeah, no,
Mike's
it's a
out
good.
of town and you're busy, Ken
No,
and
it's
I
a
are
good
in
idea.
town.
Yeah.
Yeah, a decision's gotta be made at the
Right.
time, so.
Yeah, and basically all it really is, and we haven't used it in years, and I don't even think it was formal back then, is like during Irene, town of Dorset trucked for us using their trucks to help, and you know, it's just in an emergency case that if somebody has a piece of equipment that will help us out, that,
Makes sense.
yeah. And vice versa, as
Yeah.
if somebody else runs into a problem, we actually participate to help them.
Okay, so a motion to authorize, as just mentioned, Tom and the other 3 select board members.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Okay, any old business?
I don't know if this is old, but remember last year when we were looking at Scottsville Road thing, when we went up and did that work with Stephanie?
Yeah.
That culvert right there below Chuck Jotty's, the big culvert on Baker Brook.
Below Chuck Jotty's.
You know, you go in the dip,
Yep.
right on the right side. It's crumbled out about that far into the roadway right now.
The culvert itself.
No, it's just the road's going, whatever, we're probably gonna have to put some riprap in there and shore that back up on the end of the culvert.
Yeah.
I looked at, last year when I looked at it, it looked like it was something you could do without having to go into the water.
You're thinking now it's...
I haven't stopped and looked at it again, but I just noticed it.
I mean, we can get a hold of
Something we should
Water
look-
Resources
well,
and
I
get
think-
Josh down here and look at it.
Oh, we can look at it ourselves, I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, he's pretty good about it. If it's an emergency, he says do it and we'll do the permit after, otherwise,
Yeah, but just something we should do before that, and well, on Tears Hill, on the Baker Brook side, that, there's, what, did you say 20 feet of that guardrail's probably?
we are doing,
start down the
we are doing a list of guardrail right now.
Well, this
And
is
hopefully
coming
that's
into the
on it,
road.
because actually today, they, other than road checks, they were doing, guardrail,
But right there, I think we're gonna have to do some riprap or something too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get this one fixed up here by Bridge 7.
guardrail. Yeah, no, we're doing guardrail right now. I mean, as far as, getting ready to put it out
There were
to...
just a couple things I'd noticed lately I wanted to mention, so we all.
And actually, yeah, I mean, I'll bring the list in for July's meeting. You guys can look at all the guardrail areas that we're gonna...
Good.
And I guess on old business, Ken talked with the service department at Capitol today, and the tractor will be delivered to my farm either tomorrow or Saturday.
And we're gonna see it in 2 weeks from your farm. You got stuff for it.
When I get to the night pasture brush hog, you'll get it. But I need to weld
That
that
has to
stop
be
back on.
test driven, right?
As soon as I get the stop welded back on, then it'll get test driven. Yep.
Oh, wait, first I wanna do a formal 40-page agreement with you for you're an employee of the town.
Well, you start writing that up.
Because we want you covered.
Okay, any other old business? I have 2 items of new business. I've received complaints about the large dead ash tree down on South Main Street. And I spoke with the road crew. It's something that they don't feel comfortable doing. So I followed our policy and I got 3 bids on it. It is ash and it's not totally rotten, so it will make good firewood for the garage.
Well, first of all, the landowner gets first dibs on that. So if we take it down, we don't just take it. We have to actually ask the landowner if they want it.
Okay.
That's, yeah, that's not a, it is ash and it is good burnable, but we don't get to take it. If they don't want it, we do get to take it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be more phone calls. But at any rate, I have 3 bids. The highest was $1,800 and the lowest was $1,450. And that outfit could also do it next Thursday, which works in with the work schedule of the crew to be on hand with the loader and the dump truck to take it away if the landowner doesn't want the wood.
Now, this is Accelerated Property Management.
Yeah, they're out of Cuttingsville.
Why does it say Waynesville, North Carolina?
I don't know why he didn't change that, but
And
And I
we
have their certificate of insurance and so forth there.
and who are our other bidders?
Valancourt and our tree service.
Did you look these over?
Where is that South thing, Brad?
By Griffith's Spate Pond there,
Oh, okay.
that huge.
Down by the fish pond.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on for a number of years now.
Who in the past have done tree work for us?
Trees has done a lot, Valancourt has done some, but, you know, Trees is having issues at the
Right,
moment.
right. And happy with Valancourt's, their job? I'm just thinking if we've hired a previous company and been happy with them, sometimes the lowest bid isn't always the best.
I will tell you, when I interviewed people and asked them to come for bids, I asked them to also give me a bid on work at my house. And they did the work at my house and it was impeccable.
Okay.
They have, they sent a crew of 4 people. Job was done very efficiently. There was no downtime, no people standing around smoking cigarettes or anything like that. And
Well, I guess
nice cleanup.
my question is accelerated property management says logs remain, stump remains, remove the tree, dead tree.
Right.
And car includes removal of 1 large dead ash tree, scope of work, dismantle the listed tree in pieces and bucket, utilize rigging control, lower necessary fell, cut stump low and level, chainsaw stump grinding, that's not a bit, full cleanup, chip brush directly into truck and haul away, sustainable, disposable. I don't know if these guys are doing the same thing, are they, or it says
The small stuff they would take away and they'd load up the stuff that's worth firewood.
Some of that tree is too big to do anything at all with, is some of the issue. If, you know, the company's gonna take the whole thing and get rid of it, or we gotta dispose of it.
Well, and we're still right into the landowner has to decide where they want it before we decide what we're gonna do with
Right.
disposing of it.
Oh, the large part, they'll probably want it removed.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would be
You wanna look
cut
at the
down.
quotes.
Because some of that tree must be close to 3 feet, isn't it?
Oh, easily.
At least that much. And
Straightforward.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the difference of
Yeah.
the big.
The one estimate
Oh, Valancourt, yeah.
was 1,800 if they took the wood away, or 1,600 if they left the wood. So what's your pleasure?
Did you want to look at that, Steve? He was kind of excluding you from them.
No.
I don't wanna waste any more
No.
time here, so if you've read it over, Tom, what do you think?
I think I wished I started them before the meeting.
Alright, well,
Here's the biggest question I'd have, Brad, is the first guy says leave stump, where Carr said cut stump low.
What he was talking about was like the height of the fence post.
Do we want to leave that biggest stump that height?
No, I wouldn't say
I
so.
would say we take it right down, so.
Right to the ground.
So if you go off the road, you don't hit that, cause that height is a death trap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might be worth asking what they charge to grind it,
So cut it flat.
At least this.
but get it down as,
Yeah,
Height, yeah.
you did
Whoa.
stump grinding, maybe we'll get you to come up. to do-
that little stump grinder'd take a long time.
Well, you got all weekend.
No, I don't.
Come over there. They're gonna go to the dirty room sometime.
Those, that little grinder is nice, but it's not made for production. Made for little trees,
Yeah.
or rotten ones.
Ones when it catches it, it pops it up out.
No, it's just slow, it's. I did a cedar that was about that big I just cut, and I bet I mean, I'd be down about that far, it was half hour.
It's easier to dig around it, throw away a couple chains.
No. Because I went by and raked up the mast, and Donnie mows right over it now.
Nice.
So we'll just rent it again.
these are the ones that did the work in the cemetery, Brad.
A lot of places where make it long, go through there.
No, that was Paul Short.
That sounds like a plus right there.
I had asked him, but he's so busy with roofs right now that he,
How many cornerstones I ordered a while back, just so you could go over them. Get banged, that marble's soft enough. It doesn't kill the blade.
they're like a
Yeah,
third
they did some slate
generation
yesterday,
family
that didn't you?
loggers and so forth.
Well, I think I know these people.
Mission Church.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched a video of a tree he took down. He did a nice job of it. Because he had to climb it and take it down a piece at a time.
Yeah.
And he did a nice job, but...
I don't think he wants to climb that tree.
Oh,
Well, this is a big pine that I watched the video on.
That tree, he'll bring a piece of it
He climbed-
down, but he'll come with it.
he climbed
You might as well
two
sit on a
hammocks
branch and
that
cut it
anchor
in
my
front of you.
bridge because after these wind events, I wanted those hammocks topped. So they did a really spectacular, dangerous job. Didn't break my bridge. Didn't fall in the brook.
We got a big maple on top of the meadow a few years ago. My brother said, "No, fall back." I went and looked at it. I said, "I should have been followed about 10 years ago."
Yeah, when they get dead, they're...
It's sketchy.
I said, "Stay away from it."
Yeah, when you cut all the way through it and it stands right there and looks at you, and it's like, which way do I run?
Hey, my only hangup is the wood removal as far as he's gonna leave it there. If the landowner doesn't want it, we'll have to send the road crew down with an excavator or...
Oh, this was gonna be the deal. I did not realize that the homeowner had first dibs on it, so I coordinated with the road crew to be there with the loader and the dump truck and take it away that day. But if they say
Well, if that
otherwise,
works good for
then-
Tom and the road crew, I would make the motion that we go with Accelerated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with if they're the low bid.
Yep.
And Brad's putting his name on the line for it, and if there's a problem, I'll second it.
Okay, so motion is made and seconded to go with Accelerated Property Management to remove the dead ash tree on South Main Street for $1,450. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Did I just spell that phonetically or did they do it again from fancy?
Do they spell what phonetically?
Well, some people, when they are named something, they don't have it spelled.
Oh, they go APM,
Okay.
APM, comma, LLC. Okay, any other new business? Oh, yes, we have Mr. Kyle Madash from the Vermont Agency of Natural Resources, Department of Environmental Conservation, had asked to visit with Janice and me to review a community assistance visit in participation for the National Flood Insurance Program. And I had told him I was available all this week, and we had a tentative appointment for Friday, which he canceled, and I told him I can't do anything else the rest of the month. So he wrote back and asked if we could have our zoning administrator meet with him, and I explained that we do not have zoning in Danby. So would somebody be willing to meet with him and Janice at some point to review floodplain information?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Is that part of the, this is the ones that are the existing maps?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would have thought you would have made an attempt to do it no matter what, because then you could explain.
Well, I gave him all this week, and you know, I'm sorry, when I have time, I have time, and when I don't, I don't. And, you know, I was really rather upset that he canceled at the last minute when I had kept that day open for him. So now I told him I can either meet in July on the 10th or the 12th, and he wrote back and he said that their deadline is June 30th, so.
So he should have met today.
He should have met today, that's exactly correct.
It's weird how they have deadlines, but they
Isn't
can't
that
make
funny?
meetings.
Right. I mean, or, you know, it's not mandatory. I'm tempted to say, well, sorry, but, you know.
I can't commit right now with the things I got going on, so.
Steve, you want to meet with him? Kenny?
The problem is you don't know when
When's
it's
it gonna
wanna
be?
Yeah.
I
We
would,
don't know when he's gonna be here, but
right, I would have to give him your information and let him contact you, and you'd have to work out a mutually agreeable time.
That would be the only way that I could do it, is know if and when it works, that's the problem.
right, it's for either one of us, it's got, if we know he can meet next Friday, we can either schedule it or, because if he calls on Tuesday and says, hey, I can meet Wednesday, and we've got hay down,
Exactly.
Right, it's,
what exactly is it that he wants? I mean, this is just to
Okay,
review what we
so
have, or?
he hopes that all is well with us to begin with, and this will consist of himself and a colleague in the Rivers program coming to the town office for a day, generally reviewing floodplain information. To my knowledge, there are likely very few permits to review, no violations, etc. Therefore, I envision this as a learning community assistance visit and an opportunity to go over the tools available, the ANR Atlas Mapping, FEMA Map Service Center, review your bylaws, which we do not have any, and clear up any questions that you may have. The last record I have of a contact with the town was in March of 2021 regarding the Parker Road Bridge. We can discuss that permit and go over the process to clear things up. I didn't know that we had anything that wasn't.
Yeah, that made it sound like you did something wrong on that one.
We are required to complete the CAV by the end of the fiscal year, June 30th, so I'm wondering if you have availability the week of 6/13 or 6/20. And he will send a formal letter looking for FEMA documentation. And then when he canceled his appointment, he thanked me for following up and apologizes for not being able to make it to work tomorrow. Is there someone in the town clerk or other select board members that would be able to meet with me sometime between now and June 30th in order to meet the deadline? We'd be meeting at the town office. He'll bring floodplain river corridor maps to review, discuss flood hazard regulations, scenarios that require permitting, national flood insurance program requirements, and answer any questions.
It just entails when he's gonna be there and how long it's gonna take, so.
Yeah, I can't imagine it taking all day.
Tell him, set out a time and Ken and I'll figure out who can make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if he does it last minute, well, he may just get Janice.
I would like to see a member of the
Well,
select
I'd like
board.
to see a member there too, but you can't
it's-
always drop everything on your schedule.
No, and obviously, and that's what I'm saying, I gave him plenty of available dates and he couldn't coordinate with that, but I don't feel that it's totally the town clerk's responsibility to meet with him. I think we need representation from the board as well.
Yeah, we
All
can
right,
just
well-
see how that fits in, that's.
Yeah, so that's where we'll leave it, and I'll copy you on the... Okay. Any other new business? Okay, motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I will second that.
Motion to adjourn at 8:30 PM. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.